Get ready for the dictation. Start. The constitution of any democratic country seeks to establish the fundamental organs of the government with well defined duties and specific powers, making them answerable to the people. Accountability is ensured through periodic elections and internal checks and balances. Checks and balances within governmental institutions are necessary to constrain the government from abusing its power. In the words of Lord Acton, power corrupts and absolute power tends to corrupt absolutely. Aristotle strongly believed that a good government has to be a limited one. The doctrine of separation of powers, propounded by the French thinker Montesquieu to maintain checks and balances, became the guiding principle of the constitutions of modern democratic states. The separation of powers may not mean equal balance of powers, but it definitely acts as a check on one another. The areas of governance generally have been classified into the legislative enactment of laws, the executive enforcement of laws, and the judicial or the resolution of disputes relating to the enactment, enforcement, and application of laws. The Constitution's main purpose is not merely to confer powers on the various organs of the government but also to restrain those powers. Constitutionalism envisages checks and balances and puts the powers of the legislature, executive, and judiciary under restraint. The very essence of constitutionalism is that no organ of the state may arrogate powers to itself beyond what is specified in the Constitution, as observed by K.G. Balakrishnan, former Chief Justice of India. The Constitution lays down the structure and defines the limits and demarcates the role and functions of every organ of the state, including the judiciary, and establishes norms for their interrelationship, checks and balances. The Indian Constitution provides a third and distinct model of separation of powers. The other two commonly followed models include the American Constitution with a rigid separation of powers among the three organs, giving judiciary a unique position, and the Constitution of UK with a loose separation based on the principle of supremacy of the parliament. In India, the Constitution is the ultimate sovereign, and if anything goes beyond the provisions of the Constitution, it will automatically be considered as null, void, and unconstitutional. There is a consciousness among the organs of the government that their powers are not unconditional and permanent. India restored to parliamentary form of government as opposed to presidential form of government. However, the Indian Parliament is not supreme as the British Parliament. In UK, Parliament is given immense power to amend, repeal, or modify the constitution, but in India there is difference between statutory law and constitutional law. Special provisions are incorporated in the constitution to make amendments as per Article 368. However, the Supreme Court in Keshwananda Bhartiya versus the State of Kerala 1973 held that any amendment tampering with the basic features of the constitution will be struck down as unconstitutional. In India, Parliament derives its mandate from the Constitution and has no unfettered or arbitrary jurisdiction to override the Constitution. The Indian Constitution does not strictly follow the principle of separation of powers. The executive is part of the legislature and is responsible to it. Functionally, the president's or the governor's assent is required at the center and states respectively for all legislations. The president, Article 123, or the governor, Article 213, has the power of making ordinance when both houses of the legislature are not in session, which has the same status as that of a law of the legislature. The instances where governance by ordinance has been resorted to by the executive as a means of bypassing the normal process of legislation cannot be ruled out. Stop.